Energy Today, episode 683. What has gotten into you?
I drove over here from Eli's house, and I listened to an episode of our own show.
And now it's like inspired you.
It was so funny.
Which episode was it?
681, I think.
Okay.
It was the one where we started doing radio show voices in the beginning. We're like, hey, Susie and Sarah from...
I think that was 680, but yeah.
Yeah,
maybe.
680.
I don't
It was
know.
so funny to me. And I was like, we are hilarious.
I know, right?
Excuse me. I was like laughing so much at us. And I'm like, what? I don't know. So
Good.
You know,
I'm glad we
I'm
ourselves
excited.
still. You know what I mean?
High off my own supply.
Well, there's this guy on Twitter, Esteban, who is just a few months ago started listening to Brain Candy for the first time from the beginning. And he's on 150 or something. And he's constantly tweeting his commentary about it. And it's just so nice because he's it's all new to him, you know?
Yeah.
So at least we have, and he always jokes about how I always claim we only have 2 listeners. And apparently it's just me, you, and now Esteban.
And now Esteban.
So thanks for listening, Esteban. You'll hear this in 2030.
2 years. Yeah. Oh, man. How are you? How are things over there at the old Susie Meister Butler Palace?
Our palatial estate is, it's good, but we have an infestation, which of those little, I call them wine flies or bar flies. Yeah. I don't know what their actual name is, but
that sounds
they're those
good.
Teeny tiny little fruit flies or whatever. And you know how it is, you try to kill them and they're just stealth bombers. Yes. You can't get to them. So then I tried the makeshift, the old vinegar trap with a funnel.
Oh my gosh.
That doesn't work. Everyone knows
Never works.
Then, of course, there's the plastic wrap with the toothpick holes in it.
Yes. Oh my God, you have tried. And somebody's been on Pinterest. Yeah.
The last resort was I got a carnivorous plant, a Venus flytrap, but that thing died. So then it didn't do me any good. So that's where I am, Sarah.
Suze, well, first of all, I'm very sorry about your infestation.
Thank you.
But I'm very excited that you brought up Venus flytraps and carnivorous plants because that happens to be a story that I have to talk to you about or some new information out in the plant world. Something that I did not know.
Okay.
Did you know that carnivorous plants can count?
Oh, okay.
Yes. Apparently this is something that, because I told Eli this and he was like, oh yeah, they can count up to 5 or something like that. He said, I was like, okay, how does everybody know about this? But I don't. I
didn't know they could go to 5.
With so many facts. Esteban does not know this, probably.
Esteban, do you know this? No, I didn't. I knew that they won't close their toothy leaves until at least the second touch.
Yes. Oh my God. Everybody knows this except me. So it's actually now 3. I think some of them need 3 touches. They need a secondary touch, but they need to be stimulated in 3 different zones.
I love it because it's they're like me. They don't want to waste needless energy. If they don't have to move.
100%, Susie.
Yeah.
100%. So they have tiny hairs inside those jaws, and then when they're triggered, they provide electrical stimulation that induces these calcium waves, and so they have to be able to distinguish between prey and things like raindrops or a strong gust of wind or something like that. So it's oh no, you're right. It closes after 2 rounds of stimulation that happens in quick succession.
Yeah.
But then there was this researcher who has been studying carnivorous plants and realized that some of them aren't doing it. And he's like, what's up with this?
They're not counting?
There is a mutant kind of carnivorous plant that can't count.
Oh, no.
And he named it dyscalculia. Dyscalculia.
No.
Yes, it's the Dyscalculia species of the Venus flytrap.
Are you saying that they just they close on the first touch, or they just don't ever close?
They're capable of closing, but the plant does not register the triggering mechanism.
What?
it says that the author of this study says this mutant has obviously forgotten how to count, which is why I named it dyscalculia.
Yeah. But say that part again about how it can do something, but it can't do this.
Oh, yeah. It can close. Like, it has the ability to close.
Right.
But it doesn't have the triggering mechanism. It doesn't have the ability to count the right amount of times.
Just closes right away?
Just guesses.
Or just random.
Whenever. It's like, maybe no.
That's
Nothing's
sad
in there.
for that
so
plant.
Maybe yours died because it was the mutant.
Oh my God. No wonder it was on sale.
When to close.
We should pitch a show like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but like Teenage Mutant Carnivorous Plants.
It's a combination of Little Shop of Horrors and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
People love a nostalgic mashup.
Yeah, and it'll be pizza just like the Turtles, but with flies on it. So stupid.
I see no problem with this plotline.
Is a $1 million idea.
$1 million idea. It's totally fine. So yeah, don't you think that's interesting that they discovered this and that also they named it dyscalculia?
Well, I don't think dyscalculia is going to last the test of times because that,
right.
You know how usually, evolution, it's an improvement. It's like they can count better.
Right. This one's like,
this is a dud. This guy's not going to last long.
This is like the dummy plant that it should be kind of like.
Yeah. This guy's doomed.
Yeah. Bred out of there. But instead he got like fast food flies and now he's like living.
I'll tell you, whatever those like wine flies are, though, they have evolved in a way that is, you almost can't kill them.
You can't. They are unkillable. And also flies and I need to do some more research into this because I read somewhere that there's something about their eyes and how they process information that they see things like faster than.
Well, they have like a gazillion eyes, right? Like not literally.
Yeah, and then they like anticipate movement because that's how they can avoid your hands when you're in like anything that you're. The fact that something that lives on shit.
I have my zapper.
Is smart enough to outrun me.
Here.
If you guys are not on Patreon and watching this video, Susie is holding the electric tennis racket.
It's called
You
the
may
Executioner.
remember the Executioner. Stop. You may remember if you've been a longtime listener.
Yeah.
Back to a video where Susie forced me to electrocute myself
forced.
with that tennis racket. Forced me.
Anybody that has ever heard Sarah talk about anything knows all it takes is for me to be like, hey, you should touch that when it's...
And I'm like, okay.
I'll tell you, you screamed bloody murder when you touched it.
Well, just because it surprised me, which I don't know why.
Well, it's an electric shock. I mean, that's a natural...
But it's not that... But it's more the anticipation of it. And then it happening because the other day, Bo has a bad habit of sneaking up onto the couch when we're not there.
It's so cute.
She thinks that we're not going to see her.
Right.
So this would be no problem except that she's an old lady and she's a little leaky in her old age.
It's so gross.
So I need her to just stay on her designated sleep areas with the waterproof cover on the thing.
Yeah.
And so I have these things called the scat mat. They go on the couch.
God, that is a terrible name.
It's hilarious.
Okay.
Come on, Sus.
I know. Why am I being so serious?
We should love this name, Susie. Okay, good. I like how flexible you were there.
Yeah.
And so it delivers like a little bit of like a shock, but like not that much, just in case. And then I have another one that makes like a noise in case she jumps up on there and then she gets right off. And as soon as she sees them come out, she goes, ugh, oh no, okay, fine, I won't do it. I don't even know if she's ever actually activated it. She just knows that those mean she can't go up there.
Aww.
But the other day I was putting it away and it came on, but I didn't know. And I was just like, oh, what's happening? And it was weird. And it wasn't like I screamed.
I know what you're describing. Yeah.
I was just like, what's
happening
to my body?
Yes. Yeah. Because it's not sharp. It's just like feels wrong.
I was like, ah.
Yeah.
It's so
terrible.
Weird. because I wasn't anticipating it.
Yeah.
There wasn't like the surprise behind
It's like
it.
the boat that the people couldn't see because they weren't expecting it.
So I'm like, so all of this to say.
Yeah. Sarah won't get on the couch
overreacted.
anymore. No, go ahead.
I may have overreacted. Also, I won't pee on the couch.
Sarah has learned her lesson. There will be
I have learned my lesson.
urinating on the couch.
Yeah. So yeah, the screaming bloody murder when I did it with a tennis racket may have just been because I might have had the same level of scream for a Jack in the Box. I think
Right. It just caught you off guard.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what makes me scream for joy, and that is Liquid IV.
Definitely. Oh, they have so many new flavors now.
I know. People keep asking me about them and saying, like, do you like
I'm
this
a big
one?
fan. Tangerine, big fan. Also, Tropical Punch.
Yeah.
That's like an oldie but goodie.
Yeah.
But I used that in a smoothie the other day.
It's
So
delicious.
good. It was like tangy and delicious. And they have a green apple one. I don't know how it is because I gave it to Lucas for Christmas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's so many to try.
Yeah.
And if you haven't tried them yet, Liquid IV is a powder that you pour into water. It helps hydrate you, gives you vitamins, and it's just handy to have whether you're sick or working out or if you live in Colorado, high elevation, traveling. You just throw them in your purse or your bag and you're set. And they're sweeping the nation. I see everyone with them now. So I don't know what you're waiting for if you haven't tried them. I mean, it's a great...
I went somewhere fancy and they were in the bathrooms. Oh, a ski resort. Someplace at a ski lodge. I think it was in Vail or something.
That's smart.
Yes. And they had them, you know how like you go into a fancy bathroom, they've got like, hair ties and tampons and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
This had Liquid IV in the back. And I was like, I don't mind if I do. Thank you very much. Yeah. Being sponsored right now on the ski run.
Sarah grabbed hers, and you can grab your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code CANDY at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code CANDY at liquidiv.com. Sarah got hers for free because she stole them, basically. But you can get yours for a
That's
deal.
included in the cost of the lift ticket. I'm sure.
I kid. You're right. Oh,
I'm sure.
I thought...
Did you get one?
It. No.
Eli is so good at getting
fly.
them. He's like a ninja. And he does it. And then he does it. He like, you know when you think you have one in your hand?
Yes.
And then you let it go and they fly away?
Yes.
He does the trick. He shakes it.
The shaking is the key.
Shakes it. And then it confuses them. And then he opens it up and it's always like just sitting there.
I'm going to do that.
splash.
I'm going to do it.
It's really funny. And then other trick for flies.
Yeah.
I learned this from Johnny Bananas, I believe, on the challenge.
So he isn't totally useless.
Not totally useless. Flies take off like helicopters. They go straight up. So if you clap right above the fly, it will fly right into your hands.
Okay, the perfect crime.
So if the fly is like on the table, just clap above it. And he like sees your hands coming, tries to get away, but instead flies right into the danger zone.
Okay, good tip, everybody. You got that?
Yes,
See,
yes,
we're making days over here.
Oh, right into the danger zone just reminded me of Top Gun, which just reminded me of where I saw Top Gun, which was at a drive-in movie theater, which just reminded me that, remember how I told you that I went to a drive-in movie theater with Eli and that they were filming a documentary there and we got interviewed for it? Did I tell you about that?
No, you sure didn't.
Okay, well, that happened. We went to this drive-in movie theater. It's called the Comanche. It was one of our first dates. It was like our first camping trip together. So our very first camping trip together, we the first night we're driving up to the mountains, it starts raining. And like raining, there was definitely going to be rain that night. So we're like, we got to do something that's like inside. And then we drove by a sign that said drive-in movie theater, Top Gun playing tonight. We're like, that's perfect.
You thought you went back in time.
It was so cool. And so we go there, go to the drive-in with our popcorn and everything. It was so much fun. And it's super old-timey, like out of, it was so cool. Like we really did take a time machine back in time there. And there was a French camera crew. And they were interviewing people, and they said, hey, we're doing a documentary about, but really they were like, hey, we are doing a documentary.
Yeah, right. Got it.
About the dying industry. And so Eli and I were both interviewed, and we like signed the little forms and everything. And then I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
Just like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through HBO going, what do I watch? And up comes this preview. It says French. Yes,
Automobile.
French documentary about. It's like all it says is the description. It goes French camera crew take a road trip across the United States, and I was like, you have got to be kidding.
Please tell me you're in it.
Susie, I went like frame by frame.
I can only imagine.
You know I did. I was like, I know everything about the
drive-ins, the history of drive-ins.
And like, yeah, and how it used to be, it was owned by the same family, and there used to be two of them, but now the second location is now a Walmart parking lot, which I was like, oh, that makes sense. It's kind of sad. But they said that they are never getting rid of it. They are going to be there until.
Okay.
They do it for the
Paradise,
love of it.
Put up a parking lot, but at least this one's hanging in there.
Hanging in there.
But
and
who
it was
the heck
really
did they
cool.
choose instead of you?
You know what? I realized, I told Eli this. I was like, we gave amazing interviews. And both of us have experience in front of the camera. Eli crushed it. I mean, we were both like, you give us a camera and we're like, oh, you need to do a little OTF, a little on the fly. You need to do like a little interview right now. We got it. Like both of us from reality television.
Sarah's like, do you want me to speak in present tense?
Yes, exactly. We were like, where should I look? Should I look at? He was like,
boy.
Eli and I were like as annoying as you could possibly be, I'm sure. And we did not make the final cut. No, but what I think that they were what the interviews were, we were very obviously the city people who came out to the countryside.
Oh, they wanted regulars.
Yes.
Yeah.
They got the regulars who had been there forever. They were sitting on tree stumps talking.
Yeah, they didn't want city slickers.
They did not want city slickers. Mm-mm. Yeah, and so I even looked like our car wasn't in it. And I'm like, the cars they featured were like old trucks.
Pickups,
they interviewed a couple that had been going there since their first dates, and they were now in like, and they said, yeah, we used to have like the same kind of car, but it was an old model that used to have the bench seat, and we didn't do a lot of watching of the movie. You know, it's like that kind of interview.
Good
and
Lord.
Eli and I were like, yeah, city.
Yeah,
slickers.
I think they did the right thing. You guys,
they 100% did the right thing. But I was like, click, fast forward, stop, fast forward, stop. And then I told Eli, I was like, it took me like 2 weeks. I don't know how many days. No, maybe it's only been a week. But it took me like days before I realized this, and I was like, oh my god, remember that thing? I saw it. Like I was
really
never
cool.
thinking it was going to be on HBO.
No,
like I thought it was like a tiny camera crew, and it was amazing production value. Really quality, like it was a good documentary if you're into like old timey like Americana stuff.
Wow, this just took a turn. I did not see this coming at all.
I honestly didn't either. This is like Sarah's documentary roundup for.
Well, it's just crazy because you don't even think that this is a story that you should tell on the show. Like this just happened to come up.
Right, correct. This right. Yeah, I did, however, write down another thing that happened to me the other day, which was when I was at the mall. Who goes to those anymore? But I did. I had to like do some returns at the Gap.
Yeah.
And I fell up the stairs. And embarrassingly so. And then hit my head on Eli's foot.
I'm impressed that you were taking the stairs. Or was it an escalator?
No, it was stairs. Oh,
yeah, that's impressive.
God, it was an escalator. It would have been a nightmare.
Yeah, we have a phobia. Right.
Oh, my God. Yeah, because I saw a little girl's foot get stuck in one time. But
how did you fall? You just tripped?
In like the most old lady way ever. Like I fell up the stairs and like my foot caught, and then I had bags in my hand. It was like as dramatic.
Very
as you
dramatic,
could get.
yeah.
And I was right over the play zone. So all the kids looked at me, and then I was like, in my mind, I'm like, do I turn around? Do I look? What do I do?
Yeah.
And then I just like laughed it off. Thank God Eli was there, and I was like, wow, when was the last time I had like an embarrassing moment? Like, I mean, I think not a lot embarrasses me now, but the presence of children that could make fun of me made it embarrassing.
Totally.
I was like, don't judge me, children.
I hear
just like
you.
them thinking like, oh no, that old lady just fell up the stairs. And like, that's in my mind what was happening. I was like, oh no, this is not good. But yeah, that was, and I was just thinking, when was the last time you had it? I wanted to ask you, when was the last time you had it?
I think I'm clumsier than you. Like, that's not
no way.
Well, I think I fall more than you or something because I have a whole routine. If this happens, I like make it even more dramatic. Like I'll lay on the floor for a long time.
This is good. This is good.
Because I'm so embarrassed that then I have to make it like you're laughing with me, not at me, like the old like class clown routine, which is just as embarrassing. Because
like
everybody falls sometimes.
Page 72, and this is how we do it in the handbook according to Susie. It's kind of like when somebody gives you a compliment and you go, smoke and mirrors.
Yes.
Like, that's my go. I've stolen that out of Susie's handbook, so I say that.
Well,
true.
And I mean, that's the truth, too. I mean, it's accurate. I say smoke and mirrors because, like, I even say this just fact. Everything about me that is attractive is fake. There is nothing natural.
No personality.
That's fake too. Fuck.
No.
Yes. My actual personality.
Heart. Kindness. Brain. Natural.
Natural. Who has an unnatural brain though? Probably somebody.
Yet. I don't know. Elon Musk is working on it.
But yeah, the falling in public, I have to make it worse because if you try to make it subtle, that makes it worse somehow. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, absolutely. Like you try to play cool, and then like the worst. It's a habit I want to break, but I don't know how to do it.
What
is tripping it on something and then looking at the thing like blaming it for it? Like I'm looking at the curb, like somehow, like did you see that curb?
Like it just came out of nowhere.
Yes. Like I'm mad at it. I don't know.
Run.
And then I feel like an idiot for doing that. Like, what was that? Oh, and then the trip and the run.
Yeah. To make it look like you were just going to run anyway.
I kind of do that with the walking in one direction and then turning to go another and being like,
I hate that one. Why is being a human so embarrassing?
So embarrassing. And the other one that I do all the time is especially when I'm hungry, and we know this, we've talked about this on the show, that your decision-making ability is severely impacted when you are those HALT, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Like you're that prefrontal cortex like is not functioning well. We don't have energy. Definitely is not working when I'm hungry. I go into restaurants, like go into places, look at their menu and walk out, and I can't make a decision on what I want. And like yesterday, I was like, I had very little time my morning. I had a free morning, and I'm like, I'm just going to leave. I left super early in the morning to get up to the mountains and just like get a few runs in before I start my work for the rest of the day. And I only had like a small break of time for lunch. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to decide where I want to eat. I went to 4 different stupid restaurants walking around the little like Keystone Village or whatever. Ended up deciding on nothing.
What?
And then just went back out there because I was like, now I've wasted all my time. Now I don't have any more time.
It's
now
like you don't know that McDonald's exists because let me tell you, that is always a good choice.
Yeah. Oh,
I know you don't agree.
You're right. This totally, I don't have my notes for this, but I was going to tell you about this, the Coca-Cola and why it's better at McDonald's.
All right. That's okay. I love Coca-Cola almost as much as I love Dipsy.
Well, I feel like they provide a little bit of different things.
That's true, but they're both basic human needs, and that
absolutely,
you know what I mean? Because we're thirsty for Coke, but we're also thirsty for sexy time. And Dipsy will bring it right to you. Who was it? I forget when we did our live recently. Or Doc Club. We were saying somebody ought to do.
Yeah, the voice. Oh, the dad from the documentary club, the British dad on the documentary club, Michael, who had such like a calming like voice. We were like, can you just read me everything?
Yeah, Dipsy Stories should hire that guy. But basically, what they provide are stories that can either get your motor running and maybe feeling a little wound up with sexy stuff, or wellness stories or like soothing stories. Like if you want to kind of lull yourself to sleep with something really like sensual and whatevs. They have something for everybody. It's made by women for women, which I love. And they are radically inclusive. stories for straight and queer listeners. And 56% of the stories are voice acted by people of color. So we love that. For listeners of the show, Dipsea is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipseastories.com/braincandy. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to DIPSEA stories.com/braincandy, dipseastories.com/braincandy.
Yes. Okay, so I just pulled it up real quick just to give you like a little bit of info on it.
This is about the Coke?
Yes, about Coca-Cola. So I read this article and I was like, what? Because I've always argued that Coca-Cola tastes better at McDonald's. And I always thought it was the straw. Yes, we do know that the straw is something like, I think it was like 30% larger.
It's bigger,
so you get more. But also, this is really interesting.
They have bonus carbonation or something?
They use a different formulation of syrup, and also they're the only place that is contracted to be delivered. The syrup that is used in Coca-Cola is delivered in aluminum tanks rather than plastic bags.
Just for Mickey D's?
Yes.
Huh.
Just for McDonald's. There are a few places, like glass bottles are better because they're like closer to the original intent of what Coca-Cola is supposed to taste like. The metal that's in the lining can have some effect on the taste, but aluminum cans are different because aluminum cans have this polymer lining that can absorb some of the soda's flavors, making it taste milder than soda that comes out of a fountain or ones that come out of a glass bottle. And but the Coca-Cola at McDonald's is delivered in these, I think they're like steel tanks or aluminum tanks or whatever, so it's maintaining the more of like the, I don't know, original flavor profile of what Coca-Cola should taste like without the, I don't know, what happens with the chemicals that are in the lining of the bags.
What's the reason that they only do it for McDonald's?
I think it's a contract they have with them.
And it's probably more affordable to do it without. Probably
100%.
Yeah.
But they have so much. They probably use so much, and has been in there.
They have leverage.
Like that's been yes.
Yeah.
They are like their number one supplier or whatever, and they got it locked down. So the article that I read was like, you're not wrong. McDonald's soda or McDonald's Coca-Cola is the like creme de la creme.
What's your preference in general? Is it can, plastic bottle, or fountain? Like
fountain
style. Fountain style is your favorite.
Yeah. And
I would agree.
The other day, Eli went somewhere and we like never drink soda. And when we do, it's like, I'm like, oh, it's so fun. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a treat.
So yeah, it's like a treat. He got a Pepsi and I had a sip. Oh no, it was Lucas. Lucas got a Pepsi. We went to the movies together and oh my God, that was delicious.
It really is.
It's like Coca-Cola's advertising had me fooled, but I think Pepsi challenge, I'm choosing Pepsi.
Well, remember I told you about when I was in high school and I collected Pepsi points, yes. That whole thing? Well,
the documentary that was so good.
Yeah, it was. Pepsi, Where's My Jet?
Where's My Jet?
Well, I was a Pepsi loyalist, and then when I went to university, they had like a table. Pepsi had a table set up to do a blind test, and you could do it like they did in the documentary where you taste Pepsi and Coke and pick your favorite. And this was sponsored by Pepsi, but I accidentally chose Coke, and so I switched from then on. Like they had the reverse effect.
To switch you.
Yeah, because I was totally not biased by the brand. I was just tasting it and picking my favorite. So like I
should try that.
Pepsi was sweeter and Coke had more effervescence, like more of the bubbles, and I preferred it.
Okay. I'm gonna have to do my own Pepsi.
Yeah.
Challenge.
Well, how about when I come out to Denver, we'll do it and I'll film you.
Yes, this is so good. I cannot wait.
And you can't just say what you think it is. A Coke or Pepsi. You have to pick your favorite.
Yes, I'm gonna pick my favorite. Yeah. It's gonna be like a wine tasting. I'm gonna be like,
yeah.
Yes.
Well, because what would you switch? Because right now you think you like what better?
In my mind,
Pepsi.
I think I like Diet Coke. like I think like when I want there are certain times it must have to do something with like sodium or magnesium or something like that. But it feels like there are certain times where I really, really crave a soda. It's after like a lot of strenuous like running, like cardio.
Okay.
Or after swimming.
Okay.
Like swimming, if I'm like surfing or swimming in the ocean or something like that. Afterwards, I crave either like a beer or a soda.
Okay.
And so when I'm like craving that, I always am like, I want a Diet Coke. But that's, I think, just because that's like what we've always said.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll find out. We'll get to the bottom of this.
So we're going to have to do some research.
I think I'm going to bring in not just Pepsi and Coke, but also like maybe some other wild cards and then maybe a diet or something just to confuse your palate more.
Yeah. Definitely. And like that Coke Zero, like what the fuck is that? I'm sorry.
Right.
What is that? Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero.
Yeah, you're
I don't
mad
know.
about it.
Yeah, because what are you trying to do? Which is like Coke.
What are you trying to pull here, Coke?
What are you trying to pull here? What
like,
are you, Coke,
why would you
Diet
be
Coke
mad
2.0?
about it?
What are you doing? You're just like putting the same shit in a different can and labeling it. What are you doing?
I think
is
it's
it really
a different
different?
sweetener. I think.
Is it?
Yeah, from Diet Coke. I think so. Yeah. What else would it be?
I don't know, which is why
That's why
I'm
you're
like,
mad.
yeah, because I feel like they just. It also feels like this sometimes in the beauty product world, where I'm like,
yeah,
how is my foot lotion different than my leg lotion? Different than my hand lotion?
I do feel like that too.
Like,
right, body
I need
lotion
one
versus
lotion,
hand.
for
What do you
fuck's
mean?
sake.
Yeah.
There's no difference.
Yeah, are we just being bamboozled?
I think so. So I feel like Coca-Cola might be doing this to me. I don't know. That is.
Yeah, body cream versus hand. Like, what is the diff?
I don't know. Somebody's gonna say like some ingredient of lanolin or something like that, or like I used to work for a beauty care, like industry in the beauty care industry, and they would say that your face or your eye, like the skin around the eye, is like tissue paper. Then the skin on your face is like notebook paper. Then the skin on the rest of your body is like cardboard.
Cardboard.
And then you just need different things for those. But like,
but what if I use it on my? Yeah. What if I put the body stuff on my face? What's going to happen?
Probably nothing, Susie.
Right.
Probably nothing.
Lie.
I know, we are.
We're sick of it over here.
Venus flytraps can't count.
Or
Body
catch
lotion
flies,
and
evidently.
Or catch flies. But yeah, that's the more important one. Another thing, I do have more fun things to talk to you about. And other things that are really obvious. Oh, both of these are such funny stories. Which one do I want to tell you first? Do you want to hear about the study of penis size in sports cars?
Yes.
Or sleep and aliens?
Penis.
Okay. This is great. So, a group of psychologists really wanted to see if there was a link between sports cars, like a desire for sports cars.
Yeah.
And
right, like small penis syndrome.
It, because like anecdotally, we all feel like this
I
is
think it's true. I don't know what you're going to tell me, but I think it's accurate.
100% it's accurate. But this is the interesting thing is how they did this and how it's not just if the penis is actually smaller or not. Okay. It's if they believe
their
that
sense
their
of
penis is
penis
smaller
size.
as compared to the average penis size.
Right. Like it could be an average wiener, but if they perceive it to be too small.
Yep.
Wow.
Then so how they did this is they looked at, I want to say it was like 8,000 different people or something like that. It was a lot of people, men, people with penises. There's a lot of and so they would flash these. First there were two groups. There was one group where they told them that the average penis size was 4 inches, and there was another group where they told them the average penis length was 7 inches. When in actuality, it's between those two. So you have two groups: one who believes that their dick is bigger, and one who believes that their dick is smaller than everybody else's. And then they were flashed like images, and then these like statements, like true false statements. And after every statement about like hidden in the questioning were things about penis size and about like your like confident, like belief about self. And then right after that, they would flash a sports car, and then there would be a little scale that you could move to rate how much you liked or desired this item, like how into this you were. And in all the men that they made believe that they had smaller penises, they liked the fast car. They liked the sports cars better. And the craziest part about this is that this was significantly more impactful or had more of an effect on men over 30.
Oh my God.
Isn't that the opposite of what you'd think?
Yeah.
Okay, unpack that one for me. Why do you think that is?
Do you think it's just that like age can bring insecurity because you're losing your mojo kind of thing?
Oh, okay. Maybe that. And it's like tied to testosterone, that maybe you believe like, that, like you need something to, and like maybe there's this like, I don't know, maybe like delusion of being important or cooler than you think you are when you're younger.
It's funny. This is funny.
Right,
this data is interesting and amusing. But like when I think about the sort of comparables with women, the studies that we do are about like how when girls think that we're worse than boys at math, we perform worse on math tests. Like our stuff is so much more consequential.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
You're so right. Because it's not like that men are feeling like their dick is smaller and they're asking for less when they're negotiating contracts.
They just need a big car to make them go vroom, vroom.
They just want a faster car. Right. Oh, that is such a good point.
But, I mean, it is funny and I enjoy it. I'll tell you what else I enjoy, and that is Chime. This is a great scenario. Okay. Money can't buy happiness. We all know that. But you don't want to worry about money because that can make you even less happy. And Chime will help you smile more because they are the #1 most loved banking app. And they have fee-free overdrafts up to $200. They offer financial peace of mind in your wallet, which people love.
Nice.
No annual fees, large security deposits, or credit checks to apply. I keep seeing ads for them on TV too, and I'm like, that's our
It's
Chime.
About time we changed the banking world and updated that because, like, I'm done with the same old people. Like, no, there were problems.
I couldn't agree more. Yes, I know exactly.
Yeah,
what
we
you
need
mean.
to like mix that up a bit.
So see for yourself why Chime is so loved at chime.com/braincandy. That's chime.com/braincandy. Let me read you the fine print. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank N.A. members FDIC. Early access to direct deposit funds depends on payer SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. See chime.com/spotme. Chime was the 2021 #1 most downloaded banking app in the U.S. according to Apptopia. I love it.
Yeah, I love saving money. Who doesn't? Well, at least knowing about my money, I should say that.
What was the other story? Oh, it was about aliens.
Yes. Okay.
Tell me.
This is, I love this. This is, when we study people and behaviors, it shows how, I don't know, how so much stuff is just linked to our minds. And it makes me wonder what came first. So let me just read you guys.
Okay.
So I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So there was a study that was done that wanted to look at a link between sleep patterns, sleep habits, and a belief in the paranormal, ghosts, demons, aliens, and the afterlife.
Okay.
And so there was a study that was done on thousands of people. I want to say how many it was. It was like 8,853 people who participated in this survey about sleep quality and paranormal beliefs. And so previous studies have linked like sleep disorders to things like sleep paralysis and this other thing that I had no idea existed called exploding head syndrome. Have you heard of this?
Oh, Lord, that's a terrible name.
So In the same way, sleep paralysis is visual hallucinations as you're shifting into a sleep state.
Yeah.
Exploding head syndrome is auditory hallucinations as you're slipping into a sleep state where people experience loud bangs while nodding off. Oh, that would be awful.
That's bizarre.
So, totally bizarre. It's called exploding head syndrome. It's a real thing.
They should call it something else.
Right.
Go ahead.
It definitely should. Sleep paralysis makes sense. You can't move. You get and so there's this like it's associated with like hallucinatory. Oh my god, I can't say the word. Hallucinatory like phenomenon that happens. So in this survey, they found out that people who have sleep disturbances, sleep struggles, have stronger beliefs, tend to believe more in these things like the afterlife or aliens or demons or supernatural.
Okay.
And there's a belief that because basically we have like an inability to sleep, it makes the night seem more alive.
Okay.
Because you can't go to bed, and so your mind stays busy. So there's this idea that like other things around you may be more busy, like busier. And so there is this link between an inability, and it's like I wonder, like which came first. So it's
interesting. Yeah,
that's what is like. Is it an inability to sleep that then leads to this, or is it a belief in this that leads to the inability to sleep? But they used to believe it was the opposite, that like an inability, like you believe in these things and it makes so you can't fall asleep. But now they're saying that people, so like they studied their brains, they studied like the amount of sleep people got, and they found that beliefs were way more common among people who got fewer hours of sleep per night and for people who take longer to fall asleep and who struggle with insomnia or report low sleep efficiency. And most strikingly, they found that around 2/3 of those who experienced sleep paralysis or exploding head syndrome were convinced that aliens had already walked among us, compared to just 3.4% of the total sample.
Say the first number. The percentage among the
2/3.
Oh, Lordy.
To 3.4%.
That's remarkable.
That's shocking.
Do you think that aliens walk among us?
Well, this is the crazy thing. I think back to, like, I've told this story. I'm connecting the dots here. But when I was little, I was watching a lot of X-Files.
Yeah.
I've shared this story. And then we had the Northridge earthquake. Yeah. And my first guess, the very first thing I thought was, this is it. They're here. Aliens are coming. Because, it was like affecting my sleep. So my mind went to that as like the first thing. So I would imagine that it's your brain trying to create trying to understand why it's getting like why it's having hallucinations in the middle of the night. So it's your brain trying to explain what's going on. And the answer it comes up with is aliens, ghosts, or demons, or something like that, because it doesn't have a scientific understanding of sleep paralysis or exploding head syndrome, because who does?
Yeah. So you're saying
it takes the most rational like explanation, which is totally irrational, because that's more believable maybe to say like a 7-year-old than sleep paralysis.
Well,
so then that gets perpetuated, that belief, or like.
Did you say whether you think aliens walk among us right now?
No, I don't think they walk among us.
No, I don't either. But 75% of the people in the study that had sleep issues thought they did walk among us.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
And they probably wouldn't like that we are condescending about that, but maybe they know more than we do. They can condescend about me too. I don't mind.
And like you condescend me, I'll condescend you. Susie
dummy.
Loves that. No hard feelings, dummy. I did experience sleep paralysis 2 times.
Yeah.
And if I experienced that more regularly, more frequently, 100% I would believe there were demons or something.
I can see that. That is a scary thing.
It feels so intense.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have like a rational understanding or like ability to kind of like reason and go, oh, that's what this is, you know, if I experienced that younger, and then that's the, you know, I say your brain is like a file cabinet and you fill that file with the information that informs like what you're experiencing in the future and in the present. If you like, if I didn't get clarity that was an earthquake when I had that experience, when I woke up,
yeah, your brain would have to come up with an explanation.
Yes, that was aliens. And then that file cabinet would be full of alien encounters. And so I do think that so I wonder which came first, but isn't that interesting? That 2/3 compared to 3.4%?
Well, presumably they're determining that the sleep issues happen first because that can happen later in life. Like you could have been a good sleeper and then later in life you could develop sleep problems and then your belief in the paranormal emerges.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
So
60% of participants who experienced sleep paralysis said they also thought that near-death experiences prove that souls live on in an afterlife, while those with stronger insomnia symptoms were more likely to believe in the devil.
I believe that because anybody that's even had insomnia one night really starts to feel like the devil.
It fucks with your mind.
It does.
And it really does.
Because it's so unnatural.
And then your body does. I hate this when I have trouble falling asleep and I feel like, you know, scared, don't want to, whatever it is, don't want to go to bed. There's this horrible time where my body's really trying to force itself to fall, like really wants to fall asleep, but I don't want to let it. And then it's like I start dreaming, like my brain, like, it kind of starts to shut off. And that feels like if I just let it do this, I'll hallucinate or something. Like you're halfway in a dream state and awake. And like I kind of experienced that falling, you know, like you kind of like jerk your head up thing. Like,
why do you fight it though? Why would you fight sleep in those times?
I don't know. It's got to be something
self-sabotage,
like trauma related.
right.
Of like, it's dangerous to go to bed, so don't.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've never had that.
It's not good.
I think most people with insomnia have the thing where they're dying. They're just do anything to fall asleep and they just can't. Yours is like so much worse.
Don't fall asleep. Keep your eyeballs open.
That's awful. How frequently does that happen to you?
It happens never when I'm at Eli's house or like spending the night with somebody. It only happens when I'm like alone, and I'd say like, I don't know, not very often. Like once
a month?
No, less than that.
Oh,
once
okay.
every 3 months or so.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, I can see how this...
That's when the aliens come, so...
Well, and like I remember when I would watch on... Unsolved Mysteries, and it does seem like the aliens tend to come at night. Yeah. You know, and they take them up in the spaceship. It's usually not in broad daylight.
What are they, dummies?
So who's wrong here? Right. I don't know.
Right.
I do feel bad for those people that do like get abducted by aliens or claim that, and then like nobody believes them, because that would really suck if it really happened. And I was like, okay,
yeah, that would just suck to get abducted by them if it really happened.
If you believe something,
Susie has high empathy for alien abductees.
Well, because I always think, what if that happened to me? How would I get people to believe me? And it always starts with, I know this sounds crazy. That's like all I've got so far.
I would believe you. If you came to me as the sane, rational person that you are, first I'd get your head scanned for tumors.
Yeah.
Then I'd believe you.
That, and a lot of times on Unsolved Mysteries, these people sort of are the type that used to be very pragmatic and rational, and then something changes.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I love it.
Do you ever see that movie Interstellar?
Oh, Susie.
Just wondering.
I do believe that whoever runs the streaming services is listening to us because they've made Interstellar very difficult to watch. You have to like buy it for $19.95. It's like not even available to rent or something.
Really?
Yeah, we tried. Eli and I tried. Eli was like, I'm kind of in like an Interstellar or like the Martian mood.
Did you laugh your head off?
Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. Then we tried to watch Interstellar and it was like available with live TV only. We were like, what? Why can't we even watch Interstellar? They don't want to, they're hiding this information.
Yeah, what's the tagline for X-Files? Like something about out there.
The truth is out there.
Yeah, the truth is out there. Now we know it's in the movie Interstellar.
Oh, that is funny. Okay, do I have anything else? I talked to you about the dyscalculia thing. We talked about the penis size. Yep. Oh, this is interesting. This is a word that I was unfamiliar with, but an experience that I'm very familiar with. Have you heard of fubbing?
No.
Okay, so fubbing is a new word that has been used to explain what happens when we snub somebody by using our phone. So imagine you get home from a long day of work and you're like dying to talk to Adam about whatever happened. Like you go somewhere for work.
Yeah.
I know.
It's very unfamiliar, this story. Yeah.
Okay, Susie, you
walk downstairs.
You walk downstairs and you like go to tell Adam everything that just happened on the podcast, and he picks up his phone as if to like block the conversation from happening. And it is it's this new phenomenon, but that they're saying is like really interfering with relationships. And
so
really
like if we're talking
people
in real life in person and then one of us picks up their phone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't like that.
I don't like it at all. And it's like this subtle like signal, or not so subtle signal really, that we're sending to be like,
what else is better than this conversation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like, and it's really looking at like the impact of the presence of the phone on our communication.
Yeah.
And how it's totally changing communication, because we do have this feeling that if we're not stimulating enough, that we're losing the person to their phone.
Well, that's a losing battle, because you're just one person and you're competing then with everything else in all the world. I mean, who can win that game?
Nobody. You are so right. Nobody can win that game.
Well, is the advice just like, please don't pick up your phone when you're trying to have a conversation?
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of arguing that like there was a campaign that went. I don't know if it was in this country. I want to say it was in England or something like that. But they were like calling it like stop fubbing, and they were saying like silly things like fake facts that like they had like I want to say ads on like the subway or something that would say like 92% of repeat fubbers go on to become politicians, and like make up statistics about it and like describe like you guys have to engage in conversation. I'm sure it was like the Department of Public Mental Health or something that put these up, that they were looking at like the presence of the mere phone on like face-to-face communication, and that it is harmful and it changes like meaningful topics. It keeps things more at surface level because you don't feel like you really have.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. If I am tempted to do this, which is usually when Lincoln's talking, because he can go on and on about the most boring subject for a really long time.
Yes.
Do you think it would be better for me to, these are your only options, fub or tell him to like wrap it up or make it more interesting? Because I know there's a third option where I just patiently listen and stay engaged, but that is not realistic.
That's not realistic.
Because he talks a lot.
Yeah.
So can I be like we gotta edit?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's just teaching good conversational habits.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll try that.
Like, I always think about Jordan, who, he's so funny now. He's like, we'll talk and talk and talk, and then he goes, I've realized that sometimes I dominate conversation, so I am done talking. It is now your turn.
That's good.
Because somebody taught him that, and he had to do some like little behavior modifications too.
Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
don't want to fub my kid, but sometimes
Right.
I'm just like bored out of my mind.
It does. This is more in like romantic relationships,
Sure,
but it
yeah.
leads to decreased relationship satisfaction
No doubt
by
about that.
increasing feelings of loneliness, which in turn make fubbing more likely. So it creates this vicious cycle of
Yeah, because you feel inadequate as the talker.
yes. Yeah. Oh, you know
But,
what?
all right, it's a good
I didn't even.
reminder.
I didn't even see this. It does say that there have been some researchers who have raised concerns about the potential impact of parental fubbing on the well-being of children, and then they just skip right over that and they talk about peer fubbing is also recognized, but they didn't really. They just said like it could be. I can see that. I have in working with some children. I have had some children tell me that they feel like they lose their parent to the phone, that they wish that mom or dad wouldn't pick up the phone. So I've definitely heard that from kids. It's really like the 7, 8, 9 age group that is really like communicates that they're affected by this. Ugh, and then the older ones just get the phone and then they engage in it. Yeah, there'll be none of that. We can't do that.
Yeah, it's a good reminder because,
Yeah.
you know, it's a bad habit,
Yeah.
but the gamification of apps and everything
Yes.
set you up to fail, so don't feel guilty.
Right.
You know, we
That
all
is
do
what
it.
they said, that this is
and
this
it's
is something
by
that,
design. It's meant
all do.
for that to happen.
Yeah. It definitely is something we all do. It's something we all engage in. Like, and the reason why the ads were effective is because it called out something that we all are guilty of, but also experience. And that is like kind of a rare thing where it's something we all want to change, but then something we all participate in. So, you know, there's currently a game on Eli's phone where like I lost, like last week, I lost him. I was like, who is he? Is he like texting somebody? Like, what is happening? And then I'm like, you've been on your phone a lot. He's like, I know, I got to delete this game. It is designed to suck me in. I really do think I have to delete it. And so like, I'll like lean over or like look over and he's like, I know, it's the stupid game. I got to get rid of it. And I'm like, yeah, you're addicted to that for sure.
It happens to everybody.
It really does. We go through phases of yeah, got it. But yeah, there you go. New word for you. So no fubbing.
No fubbing. Just a reminder.
Just a reminder. Just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
wind
Nobody
it
likes a
down.
fubber.
Nobody likes a
Winding it
fubber.
down.
But we've all
Also,
experienced
nobody
it.
likes a guy who thinks he needs a fast car because he has a little dick.
Yeah.
So just
Your
everybody's
dick is fine. Your dick is fine.
It's totally fine.
Yeah, and your car is fine. That's not the
Totally
problem.
fine.
It's your terrible personality.
Yes, fix that first.
Right. And then take your gal out to a drive-in and have a nice Diet Coke.
Or Pepsi, whichever you prefer.
Whichever you prefer.
And we'll know which
everybody's
one I
happy.
prefer next week or so.
Yes. I will keep you guys posted on that. No, I should say you folks or you people, not you guys.
Yes, you folks.
I'm doing much better with that.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. You know.
That's
it, I guess.
What else? That's it. Yeah. Dyscalculia Venus flytraps, like the ones at Susie's house, can't count. And
That's it. Be sure
There
to
you
check
go.
out our patreon.com/braincandy for more content, challenge content, reality TV stuff, and check out our merch because it's real cute.
the best.
All right, people. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.